3 goals. Highlights of the first 3 quarters.
Greg Anderson having a fine year. Kick is not a good one. Grenvold's going to have to make some speed. He gets there. It's in and out of trouble across to Salmon, who virtually throws it into Danaher, who kicks long in towards goal. This looks like the quick answer. Fine kick by young Chris Danaher.
Buick out of the congestion, high kick across the goal face. Salmon goes back and takes the mark. This to put Essendon in front. Any score will do it. It's a goal. Main Waring does well. Interesting. Tried for a submission hold. Madden down towards the pocket. Buick showed a lot of courage in there. It spills to Watts. An open goal for Salmon. He gets it. Throw in. Outside wing then. Madden reaching over the top. Lamb couldn't control it. Malaxis. This is Thompson. He's had one bounce. Runs to centre wing. Kicks inside 50. Salmon's the target down there, and he's simply too big, too strong for Rance, and he's taken another mark already. He's kicked 2 goals. He's looking at his 3rd. Don't look at me like that. Here's Salmon. He kicks from 40. Another goal. High kick inside 50. Van der Haar with courage went back, couldn't hang on. That's Hetty on the ground, scrambling it forward. Narkle does nicely to half. Considine towards half forward. Antrobus running away from his own goal. He's at right half forward. He pulls it back. Madden. And the mark is paid. Whoa.
Well, he really didn't control that, I don't think.
And this could be a heartbreaker if he gets a goal. Madden has done exactly that.
Malaxos. Langdon again the target. Danaher with him. Ugle across half forward.
Has got it and slipped. Back comes Kransberg. Right against the boundary line. Sets it up. They'll contest about 15 metres out. No contest. Van der Haar, great courage, has taken this mark.
Paul Van der Haar will not feel that knock if he kicks the goal.
Very surprised Chris Danaher's off the ground. There goes Van der Haar, and he's put it through. He's also a good kick. Not so this one. It slews off the side of the boot. Salmon! And the crowd will love it. Salmon will go close from here. His confidence is high. I think he snuck it through. He has. Rance, they contest about 25 metres out. Lewis does well. Hart hand passes it straight to Thompson though. In the goal square, Malaxis. It's a goal.
And at 3/4 time, the difference 21 points in favour of the Bombers. Paul Salmon booting 3 goals in both the first and third quarters. Could the Eagles come back? Just on 20,000 fans out at Windy Hill this afternoon. We pick up play now at the start of the final.
So a 15-point margin. Irving out of the centre contesting with Madden. And a great start for the Eagles. Salmon has it socket out of his hands. Kransberg gives ground. Is this the quick reply by Harvey? No, he's pulled it far too far across the face. And out of bounds.
John Worsfold injured himself as he went over the top of that ball.
Salmon and Scott to contest. Scott in front. Salmon gets a second grab at it. Considine is claimed. Ball was held and will have a bounce. The Bombers' greatest margin has been 27 points. And the Eagles came back and they've got it now down to 15. No free kick there. Long, close to the boundary line. Very hard on that outer side. Watson, long again, trying to set something up. Van der Haar runs into trouble. And eventually over the line with Tony Antrobus. So the cross breeze at Windy Hill making conditions tough all day. Salmon again looking for Van der Haar. Worsfold goes to ground. Buick gets a hurried high kick in towards goal. Fair looking kick. Is it shepherded through? It is. The Bombers reply as Buick kicks his first, and Essendon move to 11-6. The West Coast Eagles 7-9.
That was
Fine snap by Darren Buick then. The margin back out to 21 points. Hazard sends Essendon down towards their half-forward line. Long, the hurried kick across field, and Fansberg has taken the mark inside scoring range. He's going long down towards full forward, popping it up for the high flyers. No mark taken. Worsfold towards the boundary line. And he's content to run it across. The Eagles just unable to get past, what was it, 9 points, the closest they got midway through that third term. Scott and Salmon. Scott wins it. Chris Danaher back on the ground now. Claimed, and there'll be a ball up. Safe to say the Eagles need the next goal. Just over 22 minutes remaining in the game. A toughly contested affair, this one. Heartening performance by the West Coast Eagles against the top side. Mainwaring gets it to Lamb, and they're not done with yet. This is Heady on the outer side. Bounces through centre wing. And it's going to be an Eagles free kick out there. A bit happening off the ball. That's Lewis and Hamilton. But the main event is back here with McGrath. He's got the free. Plays on now. Kicks inside 50. Lewis surrounded by tall timber. Hits the ground. Rance battles after it. And we've got a whistle. So a bounce down about 40 metres out from the Eagles' attacking goal. Not a bad crowd now. Up around the 20,000 mark. Madden and Rance. Thompson in deep trouble, and another ball up.
Worked hard, Bomber Thompson. 72 plays 51. Hart. Lewis spoons it out. Malaxos to Wilson. Wilson from 50 metres. Dano waited for the bounce. He was expecting it to come up. It didn't. It rolled and jarred off his leg.
difficult situation when you're standing in that situation, the ball bouncing to you, because the ball is irregular in shape, as we know, and it's very unpredictable in its bounce. Lucky it came off for Terry Danaher.
30 metres out. The Eagles desperately wanting another goal. Troy Ugle has kicked 2 goals, both of those in the third quarter. Terry Danaher, the high flyer. Mainwaring claim by Harvey. Chris Danaher under pressure. O'Donnell away. Gets the kick towards Anthropus. Turley does the better. With him is Anderson. And the ball goes over the line, but good work by Turley.
Anderson hurt there, Sandy.
And slipping back after that altercation on the boundary line. Irving got a hand to it. Wilson shoveled it out the back door. Anderson got a kick. McKenna did well to smother it, and even better to get rid of it to Worsfold. His kick is high. Hamilton and Madden both come over the top. Hamilton again is claimed. Grenville pumps it onto the boot towards Long. What will the Wizard do? Saw Van der Haar loose, but he's quickly claimed. He may get another shot. Soccer's off the ground. It's straight to Scott, and he brings it back to Heady on the half-back line.
Heady's paid the mark. You couldn't blame the wind for some of that football.
Had a quiet day. Heady last week had 24 kicks and 4 handballs.
That was a good kick. Turley on the lead, has it centre wing. Turley long down towards half forward. Langdon giving away some height. It falls. He's had an opportunity. Just out of the grasp, knocked on by Madden wide. Bounces obligingly for Malaxis, surrounded by Essendon players. Gets it away to Narkle. He fumbles. Tries the clever hand pass. It came unstuck. Well played by Grenville. He ran it across the boundary line, and he's been knocked off for deliberate.
No. Rowan Sawyers, that's your second bad mistake of the day.
So Narkle has a free kick. deep in the right full forward pocket.
That was well cut out by Grenville. Well cut out. No. That's a throw-in.
Markle misses by a mile.
He tried the check side that went the other way.
Yeah, that was the in-swinger that became the outswinger.
I think he kicked it from the inside.
So he'll have a throw-in. About 35 metres around from the behind post. Irving and Madden over the top. McGrath falls forward. This is Hart from just outside 50. Pulls it back across his body. Lewis in front. Turley a half chance in the pocket. He can't rake it in. And it will be thrown in.
And what West Coast have got to do is bring it out over the back. Open up the goal face. Essendon must defend around the boundary line.
Still plenty of time for the Eagles to snatch victory if they're good enough. Narkle gets a high kick. That's a fair kick. And he has kicked a miraculous goal.
Well, the goal of the day to Phil Narkle has pulled the margin back to 15 points. Essendon try and work it forward. Knocked away by Scott. Malaxis the hurried kick back through centre. Plenty of run from Buick. Well done. Beautiful spin out of trouble. Sends the ball towards half forward. Out comes Van der Haar. Sweeping hand pass. Conceding some ground. Izzard's got it down towards the pocket. And Watson. Oh, what a mark.
That was a good mark. A good mark.
The mark of a champion in all respects. And the crowd warming to that.
Watch this on replay. Goes for it and then controls it as he goes to the ground at full stretch. Well done, Tim Watson.
Heady needs to be careful in that situation too. There's Watson kicking from 35. Won't be a goal. Salmon's down there off the hands and through for a minor score. Still plenty of time for the West Coast Eagles. In excess of 16 minutes remain. Watch this. Brennan to kick it in. 11-7 to 8-9. Essendon lead. The ball's at half forward. Anderson had it knocked away by McKenna. Kransberg tries to knock it out. Scott misses it. Goes back in after it. Anderson's in there too. Not a very pretty game, this one, but a lot of effort from both sides. A very tricky win to contend with.
On Essendon's 50-metre line, Long comes over the top. McKenna can get away for the Eagles. He does so into the centre, and Rance, who's got McKenna running wide. Promising attack forward by the West Coast Eagles. Down towards Langdon, edged out of it. Narkle was there. Couldn't take it. Now Lewis. Just a little short chip, but not short enough initially. Langdon is good enough to get out of it, however. His kick is high, down towards full forward. Danaher comes over the top to spoil. O'Donnell is there. They pounce on it. And it's a free kick going the way of the Eagles. Troy Ugle will have a shot just 20 metres out. And this to make the margin just 10 points. What did you think, Don?
Yeah, definite free kick.
Troy Ugle, 20 metres, shoots and has missed. Well, it could prove to be the most costly miss of the day. That man cannot believe it.
Well, he's kicked exactly what he kicked last week. 2-1 last week. He's kicked exactly the same 2-1 this week, but he could have made it 3 straight had he have kicked that one.
Still, the good news is they're getting plenty of the ball in midfield, the Eagles.
And down there, Dennis, and if they work on percentages, it's got to capitalise on the scoreboard eventually.
So it's not over yet. Danaher, Anthony Danaher, defending to the outer side. Look at that booming kick. It travelled about 75 metres. Izzard's got it. Hurried kick through centre. Scott going back, takes the running mark. Phil Scott has battled valiantly. Plays on. Back towards half forward goes the kick. Big pack into the air. Madden couldn't hang on. It falls to Turley. Away to Mainwaring. Inside 50, Langdon. Awkward half volley. It spills across to Ugle, who goes off the ground. Kransberg will be first back. And he forces it behind. But a fair degree of pressure on this Essendon defence now.
Very quick across the ground, Kransberg. Very, very deceptive. And he left Ugle in his wake on that occasion.
Danaher will kick it in again. Generally worth 2 kicks. This one's no exception. Long again to the outer side. What a mark! How often have we seen that? Typical, vintage Madden. Falling back, taking a great one at half-back. Towards half-forward. Salmon's the target, and he's taken the mark.
The Bomber big guns come out. He floats it to half-forward. Danaher couldn't take it. Buick gets a hurried kick towards Van der Haar and Long. But the back is hard with pace. Gets away to Malaxos. Floats one to Lamb. Buick chasing, but he gets his kick in time. Wide to the outer wing, and it is Hamilton who keeps it in. One bounce. He's forward of centre and gets away, putting Essendon towards their 50-metre line, but only as far as David Hart. This battle of defences continues as Hart's kick is high towards the centre wing area. There's a free kick for a push.
At least the umpires have been consistent with that today.
Simon Madden has been overshadowed by his fellow big man Paul Salmon coming into the game in this final quarter. The pair trying to combine again on that occasion, not successful. Brennan sweeps it wide. McKenna on centre wing, trying to set up something. Can't do so, however. Kransberg in strongly. Turley misses it. McKenna in over the top, could have given away the free kick, and has.
Guy McKenna tends to hang on to the ball just that bit too long. It's unselfish play, I realise. He's trying to give it off into a better position, but he just hangs on to it too long and doesn't set up his forward line properly.
Essendon work it forward, but only as far as Hart. From half-back, back towards half-forward. Madden's in the road again. They've got to kick it away from him. Fine final term by Simon Madden. He started to find form on the ball in that third quarter. Back towards centre wing. Again, Salmon the target, knocked on by Buick. Taken by Lamb, shrugs one tackle. Intercepted brilliantly by Buick. Buick runs towards the 50, gets it away to Watson. Watson hard against the boundary line from 45 metres out. Great effort. Oh, what a goal. Inspirational goal. Tim Watson. Essendon 12-7. The Eagles 8-11.
Well, his first goal for the day, and that was a hard goal because he's kicking to the breeze. The breeze has dropped, in all fairness to the guys earlier in the day. It's nowhere near as strong as what it was, but still a good goal from that point. His first for the day after kicking 6-1 last week. He's kicked 1-1 today.
The experience of Watson and Madden telling in this final term. Still in the middle. Now pushed wide towards Terry Danaher. With him is Rance. But the whistle has sounded and we'll have another bounce.
At least the Eagles will be a little happier this week, Sandy, with their performance, because I didn't give them a show at all today, but they've battled hard.
Scott gets a hurried kick down to half-forward. Ugle is there and he wants to go on with the job. Gives it across to McKenna. From 50 metres, he shoots towards goal. It's coming back. Not enough.
Actually, that's what McKenna's got to do a lot more of. Usually he gets the ball, fiddles around, looking to set up play, but if he gets it onto his boot very, very quickly, at least he's a better player, and they reap the reward, the West Coast.
Danaher again. Was kicked out magnificently all day. That is no exception. Almost down to the centre wing. Thompson. Onto the right boot this time. The bounce may favour Salmon, who, in punching in the air, perhaps trying to flick it over his head and down to the half-forward line, pushed it over the line. Tony Antrobus in the hands of the trainers.
There's the boundary throw in. Salmon wins it down, but only as far as Lamb. McKenna. Lewis now goes off the ground. Gains about 15 metres. Unkind bounce for all down there, and still it bounces. O'Donnell confronted, gets the hand pass away to Buick. Hart's been close to him all day. Crashing in there is Lewis, and it's out of bounds and will be thrown in. Antrobus is off the ground. Now it's going to be an Eagle free kick out there, and will be taken by Lewis. So Antrobus off.
Holding his hip too.
Burns is on. Lewis. And there he is again. Madden almost the mark. Didn't take it that time. O'Donnell comes away. This is Buick. Hugging the boundary with the kick. Salmon. Well, Madden and Salmon are doing it to the Eagles. No question about that. 16 marks to Paul Salmon. Finds Harvey. Harvey right against the boundary line. High kick. Turley camped underneath it. It seemed like an eternity. Burns does brilliantly. Snaps it back across his body and misses to the near side. Well, you look at the problems the Eagles have. I suppose Laurie Keane's absence is one that hurts them on a day like today. Antrobus off the ground. Here's Michael Roberts.
Sanderson, Tony took a solid knock on the outer side there and he's complaining of a very sore hip.
Antrobus and Vanderhaar on the bench for the Bombers. That kick back into play. No mark taken. A chance for McKenna again as he gets it away to Wilson. They keep running it forward. The Eagles, they still give themselves a chance. Danaher receiving at half-back. He's got Anderson loose because Wilson left him. But can he pick it up? Yes, he's away now on the wing. Rance gives chase, but he gets his kick down to half-forward. Madden the target. Burns is there also. And he's beautifully claimed. Spilled speed along. He gives it to Watson. Timmy Watson can seal this for the Bombers. And he has. That's it. Watson kicks his second. And a couple of inspirational goals they've been as Essendon move to 13-8. The Eagles are 8-12.
Well, Watson could have gone over the top then to Ed Considine. A number of mistakes. One, Scott falling over just then. Great tackle by Lamb. Long. Now he could have gone over the top again to Considine in the goal square. Tim Watson. But he kicked it himself. His second. 2-1 for the day.
So the Bombers lead. And one senses that could be the ball game.
Vanderhaar off too, Dennis.
This Essendon side dotted with champions, and a few of them well to the fore in this final term to win the game. Ball in midfield. Harvey gets the kick away. Inside 50. Back goes Brennan, but Long arrives first, runs into an open goal, and gets it from point-blank range.
By 39 points. Paul Salmon in great form in front of goals. He finished up with 6, 3 in the first.